Hello. Hello, and
we're the wrong way round.
I know. It's going that way. Hello, and welcome to the Lucy Show. I'm sorry, apologies for not being available last week, but I was at sea. But thank you very much for joining us this week. My name is Lucy Orchard. I will be your I'll be your presenter of a light-hearted entertainment show available online through YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So yes, I'm Lucy, as in the Lucy Show, and this is my mother, producer Chris.
Thank you, darling. Obviously, you weren't here last week because you were steering the boat, being captain.
Yeah, well, I've driven one of those little dinghies around the port at Portsmouth, so that you automatically get your massive ferry license free with that.
Yeah, and that's what you did.
So, my good. Hello, everybody. So we've got Farmer Ed Smith. Hello, morning all, as he always says. Little catchphrase coming on there. Somebody is up very early this morning, all the way from New South Wales. Yeah, Loz, and she's saying, I'm here for a quick 2 minutes, then gone. So have a great show. Well, thank you very much for joining us for those 2 quick minutes. So yes, everybody, Lizzie, but I drive a Scania, which is one of the points I've got to make this week. Thank you, Lizzie. And as it's in capitals, she's shouting. Yes, please join in the chat. Tell me who you are, where you are, what you're doing, and how relieved you are that the heat wave is currently on pause, but apparently due to make a comeback. You can even just tell me what you drive or would like to drive. So we start the show very simply. Say that again, Mum.
A Bentley.
A Bentley. Yes. I mean, it doesn't stand out at all. Lizzie admitting to dangerous driving. She's driving it now. I'm assuming that she's doing voice dictation, and that's she's obviously got her Scania wired up to Bluetooth, and she's doing the voice dictation. We've got Adam saying hi from Germany. Guten Tag, Adam. He probably can't remember this, but he's going to be in the Lucy update.
Wow.
And Loz, I'm on my second day of driving concrete trucks today. Congratulations. Wow. Just take those corners very, very slowly. We don't want you tipping over. You're a concrete lorry, not a tipper truck. Yes, and really proud of you. Well done from thinking it, doing it, and now you've got your own truck. Perfect. Well done, darling. And you'll always remember every single bit of concrete you've got anything to do with. You'll drive past, you'll turn to Cal and go, I did concrete over there. It's one of the joys of being a tipper truck or a concrete driver.
I made
Edward,
that.
I made that. Ed is driving his Audi A3. Ooh, must be nice. And of course, we've got Noel coming in with his show catchphrase. Hi, Mum. Hi, Ray. Hi to Mum's sidekick, and welcome to the Christine Show. And I think it is a little bit more the Christine Show due to the fact that we logged in different order. Therefore, Mum's over there.
I got it.
Took years to get used to that. Lizzie needs a bit of concrete. I think it might take a little while to get all the way from Australia to you, but I'm sure Loz is willing to give it a go. Can you imagine?
By the time you get there.
Yeah.
Although, but keep it rotating. the water.
Yeah, just mix it up again. It's a bit like when you're doing a microwave, you just add a bit of water. Make it better again.
Just making a big cake.
I'm on my way now, Lizzie. There we go. She's just rung a transport manager and said, awfully sorry. I can't do Loz's amazing gravelly concrete voice. But yes, so comedian Lizzie Lenko needs comedian Loz Budden to deliver concrete. Well, if that isn't a documentary waiting to happen on the Comedy Central, I don't know. We've got Stevie D saying greetings from Glasgow. Care for the mange. Yes, it's lovely to see so many of you scattered all around, especially getting involved on the chat. Thank you so much. There is a particular way that we try to. I just wonder if I could press that. No. The answer was no. Treasure Woman. Hi. Hello, Treasure Woman. Lovely to hear from you. Very welcome to join the community. So yes, so we start the show off with the Lucy update. We haven't yet started the show off with the Christine update because I'm still kind of holding on to the fact it's my show and not hers. So let's get the CGI sorted. Back to the comments. Oh, Lars, that's my 2 minutes. See ya. Have a lovely, lovely day. Treasure Woman, hi. Smiley face, coffee emoji. Yes, hi and welcome to the show. Very, very happy that you've joined us. So let's get my notes. Let's get some order in here. So I finally managed to get posted to Ireland. So I've done it. I've been to Ireland, obviously, as a normal person, as a civilian, but I've never been as an employed member. And I managed to catch the ferry, and I have to say, the food. I always like to grade them by the food, and I'm sure if I'd got there early enough, the food would have been lovely. It definitely tasted as though it did previously taste nice, but unfortunately, just a little bit lukewarm. And I went for the lasagna, and where it'd been under the hot light, you get the exposed bits of pasta sheet. It is literally. I couldn't cut through it. It would have been like trying to eat some sort of plastic. So yes, what I did have was adequate, I think is what we would call it. Adam coming in with, I am not a normal person. Thanks, Adam. Why do I like you? Seems to be the catchphrase a lot. But there was a wonderful group of Irish truck drivers on the ferry, and there was one old guy holding court. And I literally, as I walked into the restaurant, first thing I heard was a bunch of Irish drivers discussing Scanias. I felt like it was like the most culturally appropriate moment of my driving career. In fact, on the return ferry, I tried to bet somebody £50 to stand up and say that there was a Scania on fire on the freight deck, to see how many truck drivers left the room to see if their precious baby was okay. I know a lot of them were driving Scanias because they had the T-shirts on to let us all. But then for the rest of the day, I was listening to all my Irish music, all the Boxcar Brian, all the "Me Dad Drives a Scania" kind of folk songs. I felt very happy with myself. But I don't remember this, but yeah, I came off of Dublin, went straight into a tunnel. Like we just travelled over water. I went straight into a tunnel. I mean, I'm assuming, is it going under a city? I don't think it's going under a river. There can't be a river that close to it. I suppose it could be an
Lucy, it was going to the end of the rainbow. There was a crock of gold at the end.
I was just like driving along, and it said tunnel, and I thought, can't be. Next thing I know, I'm in a tunnel. And it was only €3 toll, so it's only on a quarter tunnel. But yeah, it just really threw me in, and because their signs are in kilometers, and the money's in euro, but I'm driving on the left-hand side of the road, I felt very confused. My brain couldn't quite cope with it. Oh, Polly. Today I decided to take controlled drugs for a nice road trip. That's my friend who works in the pharmaceutical industry.
2 aspirin.
imagine it was more like 2010 of aspirin. And were they? Hey, were they well behaved? Were they very controlled drugs? Because I hate rude drugs, and I don't like ill behaved drugs. It's got to be controlled. And she put Irish ferries do nice dinners. I think yes. I think if I'd gotten there when they were first being served, I think I was at the end of service, and therefore I wasn't seeing them in their prime. Polly, yes, under the road. Otherwise, it's a long way round. Yeah, dead cheap to use, but wasn't allowed to use it with our previous employer. What a shocker. No, not saying anything. Mum saying, careful, Lucy, careful, Mum, you'll get Lucy banned saying that. Yeah, leave the leave the rainbows out of it. Lizzie, let's have the voice of a grown-up, or at least Lizzie. The tunnel project was designed to relieve surface road congestion in Dublin city centre by diverting heavy goods vehicles from Dublin Port directly onto the motorway network. Ah, okay. Well, it worked. Well done. Unless you work for a company too bloody cheap to spend a couple of pennies. Just saying. Any more?
Thank God for Google.
Yeah. I mean, it's the fact that she wrote heavy goods vehicles brackets HGVs. I'm thinking she might have copied and pasted that. But hey, I'll take all information. It's welcome. And because it comes from Lizzie, it's obviously true. She's the human version. Yeah, she's the human version of like an Carter. So then I also, when I was at a town, I think last week, I managed to pull into a very nice big car park for Home Bargains, and I bought myself a massive set of blingy pens, and I am so pleased with them.
Oh, they're lovely.
I never thought I'd like it, but it writes so lovely. Black ink. I wanted blue, but yes, very, very happy with that. I'm not usually into sparkly pens, but this, I couldn't help it, caught my eye. Oh, look at that. Hello, lovely ladies. Been looking for you at the front row of my gigs. Love you guys. Well, can you message me what gigs you've got coming up, please? So that we can see if we can come to any of them, please. Yeah, and then yes, also, no, I've got a friend who said these remind him of pigs. So see what you think. The question is, cat or pig?
Oh, pussycat.
Oh, there you go. I think they look like cats.
Yes, they look like little lion cubbies.
But my friend says they look like pigs. See if I can curl them over like newborns. Yes, but that was something I had some time to spend, and yes, I wandered in and I thought, what can I possibly get from Home Bargains? And what I needed was some sticky stuff remover to take the marks where I had to have a sticker on the side of the vehicle. But unfortunately, I walked out with some sparkly pens and some cat ears. So I felt it wasn't a wasted trip. Now, I was very lucky to have been treated to a beautiful. Sorry, I just seen Lizzie's message. I'll read that in a second. A beautiful traditional Polish meal by my friend Adam. Lovely potato pie, green beans, Polish sauce, and meatballs. Absolutely amazing. And then I poured myself some homeopathic squash, which is what Mum and I call squash because we put such a teeny amount. It's basically homeopathy. Yes, homeopathy.
It's just a bit of water with a teeny tiny, maybe one drop from a pipette.
Well, unfortunately, my friend Adam couldn't believe how little I was putting in. Couldn't see the point. And I pointed out that it's quadruple strength. And obviously, I don't know what I'm on about. So he decided to pour himself some squash into a glass and try it straight.
Oh.
He then starts shouting at me about how strong it is. It was
warning
many times. I know it wasn't his first language, but still, I mean, it was beautiful to see that level of stupidity. Bravery. Not stupidity. To ever see that amount of bravery. But I have many times chuckled to myself watching his little face scrumple up in what could only be described as an attack on the senses. When someone's been drinking something for a couple of years and they pretty much know the ins and outs of it, believe them, even if they're a woman. Lizzie did not copy and paste. Siri did it because she's blind and driving, so she has to use all of the abilities. Now we've got conflicting views here. We've got Baby Mole from Polly, and we've got Percy Pig from Lizzie. Put it out. Not fair. Put it out. Yes, so that wraps up the Lucy update, which means that I take us to the Christine update.
Well, first of all, I had my hair cut.
Yes, and it looks lovely.
And she cut my fringe so I can actually see again, because I didn't want to cut it myself because I would have had a row for cutting it all wonky. So I just thought, well, I'll just feel around for stuff rather than do that. So that was the first thing I did. I took a trip to Taunton, where I went to Lakeland, and I had to control myself from going wild in the aisles, because there's stuff there that you think you might need at some point in the next 20 years, but you might not use it for 10. So no. I put a hold on that, but
very well
made
done.
a mental note that that's what's available, because you just go mad. And then on the weekend, because it was fine with a chance of rain, I cut the grass. I was told to throw some compost over the dead bits, and then I reseeded it.
Okay.
And then Mother Nature has not let me down. She's watered the lawn for the past 2 nights.
Brilliant.
At some point this week, I'm not saying when, grass should pop up. Well, I'm hoping it does, because I don't want to be out in the middle of the night using the hose pipe just so that people can't see me use the hose pipe. Because I don't think that there is a positive ban in Devon, but
I don't think there is.
But I'm not going to be that person that gets reported.
The first person to get the hose back out.
Yeah. So I'm relying on the skies to do that, which is something good. And one of the other things I did this week was I had to go somewhere where I wasn't sure where it was. And not being the owner of a sat-nav, because why would I need it?
I've tried getting you to use them before. You just don't take to them.
No. But I did use Google Maps. On the third attempt, it did actually work, because the first 3 goes, all it told me was to turn left at the end of our road. So I thought, no, this is not going to get me anywhere. I wanted to have that little arrow showing me I'm going the right way. And then eventually, with me pressing and getting annoyed with it, it took me to where I wanted to go. So an achievement and a little step into technology for me.
Yes.
Which I found really scary, but I had to rely on it rather than relying on my nose saying to me, you're going in the wrong direction. But, that's how we used to do it years ago. Does it feel right? No, turn round. But that's been okay. The girls through that really hot spell have been absolutely whacked out. I've left the window open for them and nobody would go out. Everybody's been really sleepy on the bed. So I wouldn't go out either if I didn't have to. So no. they're wearing fur coats. So to have them in was good. But then if they're in, they want more fuss, more attention. So good for them, bad for me. But hey, that's what having little furry babies does to you.
Well,
yes,
talking of fur babies, I think they count as fur babies. Ed has said, drum roll please, he passed his TB tests.
Excellent. Wow.
Well done.
Yeah. That is what every farmer wants to hear.
Not a test you can revise for, but not one you can fail either.
No.
Congratulations, and genuinely we mean that from the bottom of our hearts. Absolutely, congratulations. Yes. So I'm really proud of you, Mum, because I remember way back when having to navigate without any kind of information, and you'd make notes.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you turn the paper upside down to make sure you did it the opposite way around for the way back.
I remember when they brought out a website called Multimap. So Multimap, you'd say, right, I want to go from, I don't know, Caerphilly Asdas to Cardiff Castle. And it would do a line of directions for every turn, every roundabout. It would break it down to a series of. And I had to do a festival in Victoria Park in London. So I headed off with my 12 pages of printed instructions. And what I found with London is it might be called St. King Street, I don't know, but it might also be known as the A1234. So I found that what I had on my paperwork wasn't exactly what I was seeing on the signs. And I remember driving around so many times, I just couldn't get closer. I pulled into a large shopping centre and listened to the radio for an hour to calm down. And it was a lecture from a university on the benefits of looking after your grass for animal husbandry. And being a country girl in London, my blood pressure was coming down the more he was talking about, animal rotation. And I was like, right, I know I can get to there. I got there eventually, but it did take a few hours long, and I was so close. It was just like one of the last turn-ins I just couldn't get.
Yes, but before you had that multi-map, if you're going anywhere,
you had a map.
No, you could phone the AA and ask them if they could send you, because obviously nobody had emails, could they send you the route? And they would send you like a document with all the roads and where to go on it.
That's amazing.
Yep.
I know that with highways, not many people know about this, but you can ring highways and ask them if the route is clear. So I I remember I needed to get back to Devon. I knew there was some sort of roadworks going on somewhere between the M4 and the M5. And I think I was maybe at Swindon Tesco's or Reading Tesco's. And as I'd be getting ready to leave, I'd ring them and just double check my route with them. And I don't think a lot of people knew that you could ring them. So the phone would ring and you'd hear, hello? You go, hi, is that Highways? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, can you just check my route for me? Yeah, love to. Where you going?
Well, we haven't heard from anybody for 3 months.
Tony!
We've got to call them.
Gets the pen. Adds 1 to the list. Yeah, they've now made it a premium rate number, so that'll never be called again.
No.
Oh, Edward. Thank you, ladies. See you all next week. Thank you. Honestly, congratulations. Any more messages? No, but please just chip in with any comments you've got. Any news of yours you want me to know and share with the world, please do share away. We are now moving on to the Nosy Parker section of the show.
I can't believe that there are nosy Parkers out there.
Yeah, most of them are friends. So it moves on to the village update. Now, the village update, I have to say, is quite short this week. And I thought that I was going to be very lucky due to the fact that I've had 2 weeks off because of the ferry situation last week. But no, everyone's been quite quiet. And I'm wondering if having the kids home has either kept the idiots inside to avoid running into kids, or those idiots have got kids to look after and haven't been able to commit any trouble themselves.
Yes, that's the latter, I would say, is the more possible.
Yeah, they're literally they can't act like children because they're looking after children. But yeah. I'm not going to say I'm angry. I'm just going to say, Devon, I'm disappointed, and I know that you can do so much better. Not one bonfire.
Whoa.
I know. Or if they have been bonfires, they haven't gone on Facebook. They've just gone around and stabbed them themselves quietly.
Well, they've used the hose
to put them out. Oh, imagine that. Your neighbour lights a fire, so you get your hose out to ruin his fire, and someone dobs you in for using a hose pipe.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So there was a couple. I believe they got married in Westwood Home. That makes the most sense. I can't imagine honeymooning in Westwood Home. I don't
know. I think that's why there's an apostrophe on the end. Really?
It's you see them a lot in France and Germany where there's railings, and what happens is you put a lock on the railing.
Oh, like the French bridges.
Yeah. But what happens is they get absolutely covered. And they're not all nice little locks. They're all weird, and there's all rubbish key rings and stuff. And I know this is a really grumpy way of looking at it, but what sounds in thought as something quite nice can turn out to be a bit. Yeah. Anyway, so a couple posted a picture of the beautiful scenery of Westwood Home, and then a little fence, and they've hung a little padlock on it, and the padlock is engraved with their names and the date, and it is a lovely little picture. Oh, what do you think the locals thought? No, do not start that. You do that. Someone else will do it.
So don't tell me in the middle of the night there's a chap out there with bolt cutters cutting off the locks.
So the couple then came back on and said, look, we only put it on, took the picture, and then took it off. We were very respectful. But there's a lot of people that, I mean, it got angry emojis.
Wow.
I mean, that's reserved for a very high level of irkness. But yeah, it's oh, I mean, it looks nice. Don't get me wrong, but you know, not being funny. Don't leave it up there. Please take it down. Don't start it off. Oh, once there's one, there'll be a million. Please don't do this to our village.
Bus loads with their locks and keys.
Oh, you better believe it. And not one of them local. If they hadn't taken it down, they did at least say they'd taken it down, and they better be making their way back to take it down. Then we got Lizzie. Lizzie, past tense, had a proper road map in her car, but she never saw that again. Now, did it because you lost it, darling, or was it because of the visual impairment? You need to be more specific. Why didn't you see it again? You would think that they'd have better road atlases for car drivers, and they should be in Braille and have audio descriptions as well. Goodness me. Nanny's on. Hello to Julie. She calls me Dave. All right, Nanny. Yeah, we've got another village. It had a lot of heart emojis and thumbs up emojis. I'm not quite sure what the origin of it was, but it simply said, the guy on the bike has been caught on camera, finally. Now, it's quite intriguing. Is it a cycle? Is it a motorbike? What kind of bike? And was it that he was committing crimes, or was it because he was speeding? Was it a loud bike? I need more information from a post than that. That is not enough to quench my thirst of nosiness.
Wow. Oh,
what do you think?
Did you see in the paper that bikes, there's a possibility in the future that pedal bikes will have to have number plates?
Ooh.
And adhere to speed limits.
Ooh.
Just saying.
I've got a friend who was knocked down in London by a pedal bike, and it caused her a lot of trouble. It's how to broach this without sounding like I'm going to post on the Friends of the Canal. They can be slightly troublesome. Some would say they make it up in carbon neutral footprint.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say which people say that and how I feel about them. I'm pretty sure they're all those metal bikes. They can't be that good. They don't really. Do you recycle? People don't recycle bikes.
No, they not. I don't know. Sometimes they do. They just take them apart and put other bits on other bits. And
what I see quite sad is in places where they've got the cycles, the rent-a-cycle schemes. Seeing those in rivers and canals and strewn down banks and stuff can be quite sad. And people have just lobbed them and left them.
Well, that's folk for you.
We've got. Hello from Seattle. I just arrived. Michael Bellevue has turned up at the beginning of the village update. Well done, darling. You've got perfect timing. Now I read this wrong, so I wrote a full rant about this post, and then I read it again. So what I had thought that this woman had done, she said, "Well done for everyone whoever donated marrow and ginger into the food larder. I now have 9 jars of chutneys in my larder. So I thought she'd gone to a food bank and taken 9 jars. And I was going to start a debate on what do you find is the acceptable number when it's free? You know, what if there were loads? You still can't take many. No. I read it a few more times. Somebody had donated the ginger and the marrow. She had then turned that into 9 jars. But yeah, I wrote quite a lot. Ethically, where do you stand on that? If there were, because a lot of little villages, they've turned the red phone boxes into either food banks, like food swaps, food ladders, or into libraries and different little things like that. We're quite ingenious. Yeah, and there are a growing number of villages that, you know, somebody might work somewhere that, you know, has a surplus amount of food, and they'll put it in the little phone box. So if there were 6 jars, how many would you take?
1.
Okay, what if there was
amount?
What if there was 60 jars?
1, because you'd still only never get through that one.
What if it was something more enjoyable than marrow chutney?
Well,
what if it was raspberry jam?
Oh yeah, I'd take a couple of those.
How many's a couple? If there were 60 jars of jam,
I'd still only take about two
Yeah.
or 3. You never get through it. It would
No.
be a waste.
Yeah.
Again,
yes,
one's enough. You ought to be wanting more when it's gone rather than throwing it out because you're not going to use it.
It's the guilt when you throw it out.
Yeah.
You think, can I just scoop this mold off? No.
No.
No, you can't. Oh, and it was a really nice brand. It was quite expensive. Bin. Well, shall I keep the jar anyway? Bin. Now, there's been, there was one website where I usually get quite a lot of goss from, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to stay on that site. It's not that I've left it, but with a lot of these public groups, village groups, town groups, because they're not private, they're just public groups, they get picked on by sort of virus software. It's called spam bots.
All right.
I didn't click on anything, but the thumbnails alone made me clutch my pearls. At the high level of porn that was being spammed on what should be a very sleepy village forum, where I'm hoping to find out about the community speed watch. I can't go into it, but it's going to take a while for me to unsee the thumbnail that I saw, and it very much disturbed me. Lizzie's also disturbed at the moment. She's horrified at the concept of marrow and ginger chutney. How many jars would you take? None. Now I'll do this one first. So please, you know, I keep going on, please don't come here and buy houses. That's because there are less houses here. On one Devon beach, 4 cliffs fell onto the beach all before noon. 4. I haven't seen the footage yet, but I bet it's breathtaking.
It's like a huge cloud where it all sort of, yeah, I've seen footage.
And I imagine that's quite shocking considering the average age of the residents there. So, I mean, noon, I mean, that's before tipping point. They might have been out for their strolls then.
Yeah.
And I will go for the next one, which is the animal corner, which all come under the heading of Curious Chickens. So we had 2 Curious Chickens on the run, and then they got located. But what got me is someone said, you know, has anyone lost 2 brown hens? And somebody put, oh, thanks, they're ours. But then somebody else said, are they ours? So how many chickens are on the loose in this village at any one time? Do people believe in fences?
Yeah. Plus, are those other people just going to take the chickens? Because are they ours? Wouldn't they know how many they've got?
I think I can do this story. They're not going to be watching. A friend of ours, a friend of Max's as well, remembers waking up in the middle of the afternoon where he'd been asleep, and the neighbour next door, the young boy, who was he's turned into a very nice young man, but he was an interesting child, a bit different, and he had two of their chickens, of our friend's chickens, under his arm, one under each arm, going, "These are ours," and he's that. No, they're not. You do have chickens, but right now you've got my chickens. I put my chickens back.
Yes,
They lived at the end of our lane. Yes, and then so chickens times one. Then we had 4 reportings. I've just done this. Everyone notice the difference?
3.
4 reportings of lambs on the lamb.
Wow.
Yeah. So one load of sheep were in a road. One load of sheep were on a rec centre or municipal ground, I suppose you'd call it. And then one load of sheep had a blue dot on them, and another load had a red dot. So if you're not from the countryside, lean in. Ed, see if when you listen back, let me know if I've described it properly. Actually, don't. I don't need any feedback on this one. So, if you could imagine, when it's time for all the babies to be made, you need to introduce a man sheep, a ram, to the lady sheep. So what you does, is you get a ram and you put him in basically a bondage harness that would go down very well in a leather type emporium, and it goes over his front, and in the middle you put a big paint block. So you know that when he's made friends with the ladies, they've all gone out for a nice coffee and things have developed. You can see which ladies have got the paint on the back and which ones haven't. And sometimes when you see very large fields, they can have up to 3 gentlemen vying for their attention. And you'll see one ram with yellow, one ram with blue, one ram with red. And then you can look over the field and see who's up for working hard and who's taking it easy.
I think it's called tupping.
It is called tupping. Yes. So if you've all just tuned in now, that was Lucy Describes Countryside Romances. Yes, so of the 4 sightings, there was one on a rack field, one on a road, not in individual sheep, lots of sheeps. And yes, which is almost as good as last time. I remember the last time we did the show and there was a village that woke up entirely covered in sheep. I think that was beautiful.
Yes.
To wake up and just everyone opens their windows. And then the last one, this was actually in the newspapers. Herd of cows brings A38 to standstill.
Yep.
Beautiful. They were about 4 or 5. One witness reported it didn't last long. But for those of you who are unaware, the 38 is a very busy road. It's not an advisable environment for animal husbandry.
No.
Lizzie has perfectly surmised that bit in this week's episode of Sheep Shagging. Hang on, is that racist?
Oh, don't say other words. Just leave it. Leave it.
To me. She gets away with it. Yes, and then I'm going to end on a high on this one. There was a gentleman that was pictured fly tipping. And fly tipping, gosh, we're really going through the countryside dictionary tonight, aren't we? fly tipping is when you're a bad person and you throw rubbish, not just throw litter like a wrapper or something. I mean, that makes you an arsehole. But this one is top tier scum. It's where you put actual piles and piles of rubbish in a really beautiful area. I mean, sometimes Peyton gets it as well, but you can see it in laybys. People pull over, they dump a load of rubbish, and then they absolutely abscond.
Armchairs and sofas and beds and
Fridges,
fridges.
fridges and a sofa,
Yeah.
which is stupid because it's actually free to take sofas and fridges to the recycling centres, the dumps, the tips, whatever you want to call them. So they just can't be bothered going to the council tip. They've picked a lovely place. So apparently this guy is actually local to the area he's tipping. And they said, oh, I usually wait till the evening when it's dark. In broad daylight, he's just got his Vauxhall estate and he's just throwing stuff on. So the police have been informed, and there were lots of cheering and salutations and exclamations. And one woman put, I hope he gets what he deserves. But unfortunately, with today's policing system, it'll probably be a £5 book token. And some other, and a book and an atlas showing other advisable sites.
Yes, your top 10 fly tipping zones.
Yeah, exactly. You've done really well. You've made the grade. So get involved in the chat if you have a fly tip. No. Do not reveal yourself. I will not take kindly to you. You do not get to be in the community and be a fly tipper. No. So moving on to birthdays. Usually this time of year we have a lot due to the whole Christmas malarkey. Winter months growing in close, and nights getting shorter. 9 months later, teeny baby. But we've got Roger from Luffman's, who doesn't work at Luffman's anymore. But yeah, Roger, happy birthday, my love. The wonderful, the delightful, the beautiful Sal Long, who I'm definitely sure that she went to Beautiful Days this year. She took me to Beautiful Days last year, and it was above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to being a friend. Comic artist Boo Cook, and comedian Shelley Sender. Drop comedy brothering. We've got Adrian Horst and Josh Di Donato as well. Happy birthday, guys. And also from the comedy scene, wonderful gentleman that ran the PA in Plymouth when we did the B-Bar, Colin Foster, and another comedian from America, and I can't remember where in America, Adam Close, who I did a couple of workshops with. So yeah, lots of comedians this past fortnight. So happy birthday to one and all. TV and radio. Noel's already commented in with his TV and radio comment during the village update.
Okay, so what's he commented on then?
Anyone watched House of Dragons yet? He has it recorded and ready to watch.
No.
So House of Dragons is the prequel to Game of Thrones, and I think they're using the same theme tune because I think people have gotten very excited about hearing the music again.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to wait and do it all in one big catch up. So if it's 1 week, it's one episode a week, that's 24 weeks. Well, actually, I don't know what Game of Thrones does. I think they may only do a few episodes, so I might not have to wait that long, actually. But yeah, I will watch it, but no, I haven't watched it yet. Radio, as always, I've listened to Jason PJ. I have been listening to, I did a little bit of Alison John as well recently, but the audiobooks that I've been enjoying very much is obviously MC Beaton, Hamish Macbeth series, and Agatha Raisin, a couple more James Pattersons, and today I finished Marjorie Allingham, The White Cottage Mystery. She was, what did it just say on her page that I saw? She was born 2004, and I think she passed away in the 60s, but she wrote in about the 40s and 50s. And they're very, very nice, gentle detective mysteries. So I'm hoping to catch some more of hers. Oh, Noel's put 10 episodes. Okay, so in 2.5 months, I'll be able to watch. So until then, I get to say no spoilers, please. Then I've watched a little bit of Charmed. I tried to watch some Mistresses, but I wasn't in the mood. But I'll take another run at it. I did all of Torchwood, which was enjoyable because it was like like they do those memory exercises for people that are losing their memories. Yes, it was more of a
trip down memory lane.
Yeah, what is it? Sentimental journey. And I've just started Doctor Who again. But come on, Lou, ma'am, this is what I love listening to each week. What foreign murder show has bored you, but you've carried on watching? And go.
Right. So I finished The Truth Will Out.
And did it?
Yes, it did. But it took a long time to get there. And the fella was totally neurotic and totally obsessed with his brother having been murdered. And he was right. You know, his brother had been murdered only because his brother was a bent cop and had killed a prostitute. Who knew? Who knew?
So he deserved it. The truth will out. The truth was the brother deserved to die.
Yeah. So then I watched Inspector Borowski, another German detective.
Okay.
Now he's the inspector, and the little I don't know, in this country it would be a DC, or I don't think she was a sergeant, but she used to argue so much, you know, that if that was real life, she would have been fired straight away.
Yeah, but she would have been called argumentative and aggressive, and she would have been fired.
Yeah, and that turned out to be not too bad. They were always better when they didn't have her in it. He did a few that were not with her, so that was fine. I stuck with it. I don't know whether they were trying to make him out like some sort of sex symbol, but he was your average middle-aged chap.
Right.
But, you know, hey, he got the lady.
Right.
Know. So that went out, that one. So
was it a little bit like Robbie Coltrane in Cracker? They tried to make out he was sexy, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that. So then I finished that, and I'm now watching something called Hide and Seek.
Right.
Okay. It's about a kidnap. I'm only sort of 2 episodes in, but it's from the Ukraine.
Oh,
topical.
Okay.
So, again, the police inspector is a woman with some sort of psychological disease.
Again, and we're not. This is no way us taking the mick out of anyone with a mental health issue.
No.
All we're saying is, it used to be that detectives were broody, maybe an alcoholic, but now they've all got to have a definite labelled spectrum. Yeah. And again, we're not mocking people. We're questioning why all of the fiction seems to be the same trite composition.
Yeah.
For a protagonist.
Yeah. Why give them a problem when they're trying to solve problems?
Yeah.
But hey, I'm sticking with it. You know, I could have jumped ship, and I thought, no, we've got to support the Ukraine. I will watch it.
Got to support the Ukraine. So I'm willing to watch the detective I mean, when Zelensky, is it Zelensky? Zelensky. When Zelensky finds out that you're watching this, be like, producer Chris.
But you know, I'm doing my best.
Yes.
I'm
Sorry,
keeping foreign
it's
drama
gotten
afloat.
darker. This light has turned into almost what can be described as a spotlight of a U-boat. The lighting.
Well,
we'll look at lighting for next week.
Yes. Maybe a little shade.
Yeah. This all turns it into some sort of bald, weird halo as well. So I'm trying to lean in without being all right, guys, I'm here. So how many episodes are in Hide and Seek? Is it many seasons?
I'm just letting it surprise me.
Okay. Because I do remember the main issue with different things like the name of shows. So Hide and Seek, you're hoping somebody was hidden and they found them. I watched Lost, and I was about halfway through season 1, and then I found out they were making season 2. So I was like, well, they're never going to be found, are they? And I stopped watching. And I jumped out. I just thought, you can't.
I'm hoping that they'll be found, because there's lots of branches coming out now where this has happened and that's happened, but the focus should be the kidnap. But they're finding little fans, which will possibly come in and meet. Who knows? Could
be a story arc. Noel's laughing at me bald patch, I think. He picks the weirdest bit. Oh, the fact that the war on the Ukraine. I mean, when Putin finds out you're watching Hide and Seek, call it quits.
He'll cut off our gas.
I mean, most people just change their Facebook status to a blue and yellow flag, because that's going to make a fucking difference to a country that doesn't have any internet. Oh, Ed's back. Morning, all of you missed me. Well, you missed all the good bit, but you can play catch up.
He missed the tapping.
Oh, don't say that to him. Don't comment in on that one. It's true though. Tapping and tipping. That was the middle section. But yes, thank you so much. As always, it's been a delight to be a part of your Tuesday evening again. Please remember to share this. Tell your friends. We're not a secret. They might like it. Even if you think they won't like it. And maybe, hey, if you don't like this show and you don't like someone else, tell them about this. Share this stream with them. If this is how you want to get at them, I need the viewing figures. I won't sniff at it. But thank you so much. We're not proud. I'm not proud. Look at me. So a big thank you, obviously, to Ray, and love goes out to Mary. A big thank you to Chris, and congratulations to Peter for his big retirement. Love as always to the naughty Elizabeth and the placid Mervyn. My love always goes out to my girls, Lizzie, Leona, who didn't even make it for the last 5 minutes, and huge love going out to my little girl Amanda, who, Jesus Christ, is she ill, and there's nothing I can do apart from maybe cheer you up. I know she's in a lot of pain, and she said, don't make me laugh, which I then just kept making her laugh.
Well, that's what you do when somebody says don't.
Yeah. Oh, look who it is. 8:59 timestamp says, I am here. How are you?
Has she been hiding and hasn't said she's been here? Yeah,
there's going to be a fucking quiz, Leona. Love you both from Noel. Love you all. Bye from Ed. Yes. So big love to Amanda, and of course to all the poddies, and especially to Mrs. Reed. Hope to see you soon. But yes, just big thank you to Mum. Thank you to Noel, and a big see you next Tuesday to everyone here.
And I will see you next week.
Thank you so much, guys. You make my week. From the wife, love you, tragic person. Love you back, tragic person's wife. Perfect. See you all very soon. Let me just cue up the music, which hopefully hasn't gone anywhere. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. See you Tuesday, 8 p.m. UK, 9 p.m. European. Thank you, guys. Oh, of course. How can I forget?
What?
And bye from Ray.
Excellent.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.